Good morning. It's Monday. Church family, it's good to be with you. As usual, me being on Monday, I get to say, I hope that you had a blessed day yesterday as we worshiped. Yesterday was an extra special day because we began our outdoor services again. And for those that were able to be there, we were able to come to the Lord's table and take communion. And it had been a really long time since we had done that, at least face-to-face together in person. And so I know those that were there were blessed. If you were there, you were blessed by that. If not, hopefully you were able to join with our community online and connect. I think that's such a vital part of who we are, is coming together, whether in person, face-to-face, or through live streams online, whatever it is, connecting with our church body. And I know that we've done especially hard, really worked hard at trying to connect people for those that aren't able to come in person, or maybe don't feel comfortable yet doing that. We've worked really hard on our live streams to have lots of live connections through videos and through interviews and things like that. We're really working hard trying to still bring that community to you so you can have that connection weekly. All of that to say, I hope that yesterday was a blessed day of worship for you and that you got to take part in that. So today I have a short passage. I am just kind of connecting the dots from where it was left off last week and then leading to where it's going tomorrow. I have a kind of an in-between passage today. I'll be reading out of Acts chapter 25, starting with verse 13 and just going to verse 22. We left off with Paul before the Roman court, and basically he left off saying, if I've done something that is worthy of dying, I'm not afraid to die. But Paul knew, and God obviously knew, that Paul had done nothing wrong. And these Jews that had been wanting him dead for a while had been continually staying on him for quite a long time now. And so Paul knew his rights as a Roman citizen. Because he was a Roman, it protected much of who he was when it came to the court of law. And so because of that, he said, I'm innocent. And he kind of left off in verse 11, said, I appeal to Caesar. So basically saying, I have this right to have Caesar choose this verdict, see what my future holds. And so Festus, the new governor, said, very well, you've appealed to him, and to Caesar you will go. And so Caesar was coming into town and would be able to visit. And so part of Festus's part in this story is interesting to me too, because he's kind of the new guy. He's the new governor that took over. He came after Felix, and he doesn't fully know what's going on. He doesn't fully understand this idea of God, doesn't understand this idea of Christianity. He knows very little. And so what Paul's talking about is news to him. And again, the underlying tone of all of this is, no matter where Paul is, no matter what Paul's situation, he is using it to spread the message of Christ. That may be through his own testimony. That may be with him trying to protect his own life, telling the truth, saying, listen, I've done nothing wrong. This is what I've done. This is what I'm being charged for. And if you think I should die for that, then I'm willing to die. But I know that I'm innocent. And so Festus is basically just trying to pacify these Jews that want Paul dead by saying, okay, good. If I can pass him on to Caesar, that's even better for me, because now I don't have to be the one making the calls on this. So that sets the stage up to where you left off. And now before Caesar, here we go. Verse 13. A few days later, King Agrippa arrived with his sister Bernice to pay their respects to Festus. During their stay of several days, Festus discussed Paul's case with the king. There is a prisoner here, he told him, whose case was left for me by Felix. When I was in Jerusalem, the leading priests and Jewish elders pressed charges against him and asked me to condemn him. I pointed out to them that Roman law does not convict people without a trial. They must be given an opportunity to confront their accusers and defend themselves. Verse 17, when his accusers came here for the trial, I didn't delay. I called the case the very next day and ordered Paul be brought in. Verse 18, but the accusations made against him weren't any of the crimes I expected. Instead, it was something about their religion and a dead man named Jesus, who Paul insists is alive. So right there, we already get a sense in his tone that it's about this religion, it's about this Jesus character who they insist died, but now Paul says lives again, right? And it's this idea of resurrection that he doesn't have any clue to speak into, which is Festus, is what we're talking about here. So he says, instead it was something about the religion and a dead man named Jesus who Paul insists is alive. Verse 20, I was at a loss to know how to investigate these things. So I asked him whether he would be willing to stand trial on these charges in Jerusalem. But Paul appealed to have his case decided by the emperor. Now listen, the reason he didn't want his case tried in Jerusalem was because the Jews knew that if they could get him to travel, they could plan an ambush to kill him. And so God gave Paul this prophetic word of, let's keep it here. You know your rights as a Roman citizen. Keep the trial here. Keep you alive, at least for this time. But Paul appealed to have his case decided by the emperor, so I ordered that he be held in custody till I could arrange to send him to Caesar. I'd like to hear the man myself, Agrippa said. And Festus said, you will tomorrow. That's all that I have for my passage today, and so I'm kind of leaving you on the edge of your seat to see what happens next. So tomorrow you'll hear more about Paul's story and his appeal, and again, every time that he gets to appeal his case, it's another opportunity that God gives to spread the word of what Jesus and his resurrection is all about. It's really interesting how God uses things like a court trial and standing before these people in high authority. For people that wanted Paul to stop talking, it's really interesting because he's only done more and more talking through this process, right? Is that interesting how God opens those doors, right? When it seems like a door is being closed, God is actually opening doors to other situations and other opportunities. So that's my word for you today, my friends. Be blessed. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.